What's up, guys? Chris here, founder of Rooted Music Coaching. At Rooted, our goal is to help you learn to play the music you love by coaching you on the why and not just the what. Now, in today's video, we have something really awesome for you. We have a piano tutorial for the song Whole Heart, Hold Me Now. And what we're going to really do is get into the nitty-gritty of the key of music that this song is in and get into the Nashville Number System to really help you understand further the foundation of this song, as well as understand some foundational tools that'll help you even beyond this song Whole Heart, Hold Me Now. So if you really love this video, if you love this tutorial, this type of coaching, I'd love for you just to hit subscribe to our YouTube channel here today, where you can get access to way more videos than just this one. You'll see these videos every single week that pop up here, and you'll just learn even more and more and more as we grow and we delve more into the number system, chords, their modifications, and more worship song tutorials just like this one. So hit subscribe. Let's go ahead and jump in to the tutorial. Hey, what's up, guys? Chris here with Rooted. Really excited to jump in to this Whole Heart, Hold Me Now tutorial with you. This is a really great song, and I'm excited for you to start working on it here today. So let's go ahead and dive in. So what you're going to see here at the top of this chart, and you can download the chart by clicking on one of the links in our comments below, is we have a few things going on up here, right? We have the name, obviously, of the song, all right? We have the key that the song is in, and I'll explain that in just a minute. We're in what's called 6/8 time, meaning we have 6 beats in every measure. I'll explain more on that in just a minute, too. And we're in what's called, our tempo is 162 beats per minute, okay? So let's go ahead and dive in, first of all, to the key of E here. I want to show you a little bit about what that is, and if you're not familiar to what keys are in music, this is a great place to start. So every note in music, as you can see, we have obviously this wide array of notes right here, right? Like a normal piano has 88 notes on it. Most pianos obviously have 88 notes, and all those notes are kind of segmented into these groups of notes called keys. And a key is just a group of notes that sounds really good together, okay? So playing in the key of E means that we have a set of rules we have to remember, and the way that the better that we understand those rules, the better we're going to sound, the better that we'll be able to play in a key. And every song is in a key. And so the better that we understand these keys, the easier it's going to be to play these songs, and everything's just going to make way more sense, right? You'll have this background, you have this foundation to actually learn how to play these songs. And actually, what you learn here today is going to take you far beyond just Whole Heart, Hold Me Now. It's going to take you into every other song that you learn from here on out, because this foundation is just music theory. It's music, and it's really important, incredible stuff to know. So like I just said, every note is grouped into a greater group of notes called a key. And a key is a group of notes that sound really good together, and every key has a set of rules. And so E has some specific rules for us. So the way that we want to understand every key is by understanding one thing first, which is called its scale. All right, a scale is like a map of a key. And what we're going to do with this map here, with the scale, is just identify what the rules are and really know what notes we have to play in, and what notes we can play, what notes we can't. And the better that we operate within that scale, the easier it is going to be to play good sounding music. So here's our E major scale right here, all right? We have 7 different notes in this scale. This is our first note, which is an E. Our second note is an F sharp, and that's one of the rules. Every F has to be sharped. So here's an F. Whenever we sharpen a note, we bring it a half step to the right. And that's what a sharp does. So we have our first note, second note. Our third note is a G sharp. That's rule number 2. We have to sharp every G. Our fourth note is an A. Fifth note's a B. Sixth note is a C sharp. That's rule number 3. We have to sharp every C that we play. And rule number 4 is applied to note number 7 in this key, which is a D sharp. Every D has to be sharped. And then the 8th note is the same as the first one. So we have 4 sharps in this key. F's, G's, C's, and D's are all sharped in this key, meaning that E's, A's, and B's are the only natural notes that we'll play. Okay? All right, so that is our scale, and then from the scale then is kind of how we derive our chords that we can play. So every chord is built off the first, third, and fifth notes of any scale. So that would be called our one chord right there. All right, why? Because our root note is on the first note of the E scale. And this is kind of the beginnings of what's called the number system, the Nashville Number System, all right? Understanding the number system really helps you then apply these chords to other keys as well. And it really just helps you have this real relative view in terms of music and how chords work and relate from one song to the next, from one key to the next. It's really an incredible foundational tool to understand. So here's your one chord. Now, just like we had 7 notes, we're going to have 7 different chords we can play. All right, a 2 chord is going to be right here. We just move all of our fingers one note to the right, and keeping with the scale of E. So I'm sharpening F and C because that's two of our rules, right? Every F and C has to be sharped. Our 3 chord then is right here. This would be a G sharp minor. All right, again, we're sharpening G's and D's. Here's our 4 chord right here. That's an A major. Again, I'm sharpening my C right there. 5 is B major. 6 is C sharp minor. And then our 7 is going to be this D sharp diminished chord. Okay, so we have 7 different chords. Now, the other thing I want to show you is in correlation with those chords. So every single chord has a few different ways that we can play it, right? So what I just showed you were what's called the root position version of those chords, all right? So the most basic way we can play those chords. The way that you know it's root position is if your bottom note, typically, is if your bottom note is the name of the chord or the letter of the chord we're playing. We're playing an E major or a 1, right? We're on the first note of the scale. We're playing an E. So that's root position. That's the most basic way to play any chord. And while that's a good way of identifying chords, it's not the only way. And almost every song uses inversions in order to play. It's just a little bit more advanced way to play, right? Almost every song uses inversions, helps songs sound more cohesive. So here's our root position, okay? So our 2 other ways we can play this 1 chord right here are by using what's called inversions, all right? So a first inversion of this chord means we're going to move the E to the very end. Anytime we invert chords, it just means we move the notes around a little bit. So here's our root position. Here's our first inversion, right? That's what that looks like. The E has been brought to the end. Okay? It's not a different chord because we're still playing an E, a G, and a B, G sharp and a B, just like we were in the beginning, but now our G sharp's in the bottom. Then we'll also have second inversion, which looks like that. All right, now our B's in the bottom and G sharp's in the top. Okay, so we have root, first, and second. Cool? Those are our different inversions, and every chord works that same way. Last thing I want to share with you that you need to know about this song, you'll see in the chart, is what a suspended chord is. Okay, so in every chord, with every chord, we can suspend these chords, and they typically happen, especially in these worship songs, when we're talking about major chords. So either the 1 chord or the 4 chord or the 5 chord will be suspended in this song. So here's what a suspended chord does. And you'll see it notated by a little SUS notation in the music. I'll show you that a little bit later. So a suspended chord moves the middle note of the chord either up to the 4th note in the scale or down to the 2nd note in the scale. Okay? So here's our regular root position of the 1 chord. If we were to suspend this 1 chord, we could play that, or we could play that. Now you may be asking, how do you know which one to do? And that's derived from the number after the 3 letters SUS. So if it says 1 sus 4, that means we're suspending this chord by moving it up to the 4th note. Sus 4. Right? Sus 2 means we're suspending it down to the 2nd note, okay? And these suspended chords just provide more tension, and then once we resolve the tension, it feels really nice, right? So we kind of have this ebb and flow of unresolved feelings to resolved feelings, and that really helps just build the dynamic of the song, and even it helps with the melody of the song and things like that. So that's what a suspended chord is. So as we jump into the chart now, I want to just walk through a couple things with you. If you are in our unlimited piano tutorials course where you get access to every tutorial that we have, you're actually going to get way more in-depth teaching on this. We'll go through every section of our chord chart, which again you can download by just clicking the link in our comments below. I'll actually walk with you through every single section of the chart and help you understand exactly how it's played. But today in this YouTube tutorial here for YouTube, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to allow you to obviously download this chord chart, and I actually have these notes here written as far as what needs to happen. So you'll see second inversion, no G sharp, left hand's playing octave. So, you know, what that would mean in terms of this intro right here is that our right hand's playing a second inversion of this 1 chord, and left hand's going to play octaves. So that's what you play. That's how you'll know. So all these notes here that I wrote into the chord chart really help you know exactly what to play, because there's a lot of nuance with each chord, right? And so before we jump into actually me playing the song down, because what I'm going to do in a second, just play the entire song front to back along with the music so you really see how it works. What I want to do is kind of talk to you a little bit about the way that the counting and that the rhythm goes in this song. So every number that's all by itself stands for a measure. And again, a measure receives 6 beats in this song, okay? So if we see a 1 all by itself, it means we're holding that 1 for 6 counts, all right? So we see 8 ones right here. We're going to hold basically this 1 chord for 48 beats, okay? This tempo here is at 162 beats per minute, so we want to make sure that we're able to play the song at that speed. Okay, as we look through the song here, we're going to see, okay, we're playing a 4-sus-2. We already talked about that. We're in RP, or root position, okay? Our 1 chord would be next in first inversion. Our 5 chord would be next in second inversion, and so forth. So you kind of see a mixture of what we talked about earlier, kind of building the foundation, and then you have the notes for you right here in the chart. To work through and to try and work through at your own pace, making sure that you know what's going on. 1 hit per chord, meaning you're just playing the chord once with your right hand and holding it for the duration of the measure. Left hand is going to play single notes, 1 note at a time, also play 1 hit per chord. So really, as you go through, I would encourage you to download the chord chart. That's going to be your best way of really identifying what's going on when I play it down through here in just a minute, and really understanding kind of beyond a little bit further. And then as you go through that chord chart, really try and apply some of these notes here that I put in the verse section, the intro and pre-chorus, and all those sections here to what is going on here in the song. And then if you feel like you're kind of getting there, but you would like even further teaching, again, like I said, in our program, in our Unlimited Tutorials program, what we do is we go through every section in detail and just kind of go further down the road in terms of the theory, the chords, and how everything is built, and some of the tendencies even in worship music. So if that's something that's of interest to you, there's another link you can click down here below in our comments. But if this is enough for you, that's awesome. Download the chart and really feel free to dive in and start working on it. And obviously, if you have any questions, please reach out. We'd love to help you any way that we can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this song front to back so you can see exactly how this is played. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed learning Whole Heart with us today. I hope the tutorial made sense and that you enjoy learning some of the more foundational pieces, the number system, some of the chord modifications, and just the theory behind the song. I hope all that made sense and you really enjoyed it. And as you get started learning some of this stuff, if you really find that, man, I really don't know this stuff as much as I want to, maybe I really need to learn more of this stuff to be able to better play worship songs on piano, I'd love for you to click the link in our comments below to learn more about getting started in our tutorial program. What we do every single week is we add more and more tutorials into this tutorials course that you have access to, and we teach just like we did today, but we go even more in depth into the why, the theory, the chord modifications, helping you understand in an even better way how to learn to play these songs and take your playing to the next level where you can really walk in to any worship scenario and be confident in what you're playing. So I hope you'll take us up on that opportunity. You'll click the link to learn more and see what we have for you. If you have any questions, we'd love for you to post a comment below. Or if you have any questions, you can certainly send us an email at support@rootedmusiconline.com. But we'd love to connect with you. Thanks so much for checking out this video.